Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
BoxingVoice.com. All the guys want. I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather. I was trying to fight every fighter. I sacrificed a lot
Dazn Productions
to get to where I got to.
What do you bring to the table?
Let's get this on. Let's do it.
Well, it's like this. It's hey, wait.
All right, that's it. Hold on. Bernard, everybody calm down.
Man, you know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all. I sacrificed a lot. BoxingVoice.com to get to where I got to. BoxingVoice.com.
Good morning, TBV, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another morning edition of the Boxing Voice. It's 9 a.m. on the East Coast, 8 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. West Coast, 7 a.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. UK, and we here to talk a little bit of UK boxing, I guess. Tyson Fury basically saying he'll slap the teeth out of Eddie Hearns' mouth if he says another word. I doubt that'll happen, but interesting either way. Funny to see, does Eddie continue to talk about him? But I think that all the talk has something to do with the WBC possibly mandating Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. And Eddie Hearn and Dillian Whyte feel that it is unfair for Dillian Whyte to have to face Tyson Fury for an eliminator. So I say, what is fair? Is it fair that he fight Lucas Brown? Is he fair that his eliminator be with Joseph Parker coming off a loss to Anthony Joshua? Which of his previous fights should have been mandated a title eliminator, in your opinion? This is what we're going to be talking about right here. Whether it's when you feel Tyson and Dillian Whyte should have been sanctioned to do a title eliminator, or when you feel their respective fights with boxing personalities, because I don't know who you're going to choose to say that it deemed to be an eliminator. For instance, Mike could say Robert Helenius versus Dillian Whyte deserved to be an eliminator. Who knows? But the fact is, Frank Smith, Eddie Hearn, they're just saying basically that Tyson, Whyte shouldn't be forced into fighting each other for an eliminator. Tyson should just be allowed to fight Wilder. I'm not sure if that's right. But this is what we're talking about. You know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Don't forget to add Nestor Gibbs on Skype from anywhere in the world or anywhere that you can use the Skype app, which could be downloaded on Android or iPhone immediately and be part of the conversation. You can also go ahead and download the free Patreon app. And while you're there, you can subscribe to the Boxing Voices Patreon and receive tons of exclusive content, never before seen footage, Axe Fighter specific questions, Border Wars footage, just so much. For as little as $3 a month, join the Voice of the People, become part of the committee that ensures the TBV is everywhere covering fights. Let me get on out to my co-host.
Dazn Productions.
Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it.
BoxingVoice.com.
So when I stop him, y'all gonna say he was too weak. Come on, Mike. He stayed out before he said it.
A man stand up for what he believe in, and when you stand up for what you believe in, you accept whatever consequences come behind it. BoxingVoice.com.
Yo, what's up, people? I'm sorry if I sound like I'm under the weather. Had that doomy shit last night, man. Fucked me up, you know what I'm saying? And man, I don't know what the hell I ate, bro. That shit, I was throwing up, couldn't breathe. Like, you know how you throw up and you can't breathe when you're throwing up? That shit is the fucking worst. But I'm back. I'm here. What's going on, people? Yeah. Tyson Fury says he would slap the teeth out of Eddie Hearn's mouth if he don't put some motherfucking respect on his name. Don't be talking about my opponents. Don't be talking about who I'm fighting. Don't be trying to point the finger and say I'm not fighting nobody. Tom Schwartz, he'll beat your ass. That's what he said. But yeah, we'll break it down, get into it, and really discuss why Fury said what he said. And shout out to Michelle Joy Phelps with another great interview with Tyson Fury.
Tom Schwartz will beat me and you.
You goddamn right.
So that's what I'm saying. Does that matter?
That
Tom Schwartz could beat the people that are criticizing him, or what matters is that Tom Schwartz doesn't deserve to be in the same sentence as the elite heavyweights.
That is true. That is true. But we have these sanction bodies that have him highly ranked. I believe he's highly ranked in WBO. If you look at it, Tyson Fury's opponent is highly ranked, more ranked in his sanctioned body than Dylan White opponent is coming up for Oscar Rivas. I don't know what that says, and it doesn't say a lot, but just a little fun fact: the WBO has Tom Schwartz pretty high.
I mean, I don't know if that means anything. There's so many sanctioning bodies that someone's going to be moving more rapidly than the other. What matters is that we've never heard of him. And when I say we, I don't mean me and you. I mean me, you, our audience, the public. The public is reacting to this Tom Schwartz fiasco as if it was a fiasco. Wool over the eyes. And I quote, you know what? It's jealousy. Eddie Hearn can't fight. Tom Schwartz would hit Eddie with one jab and a left hook, and he'd put Eddie out for 2 weeks. When you people like Eddie Hearn saying negative stuff about me, I look at it and I think, you know what, Eddie? You've never had to fight in your life. How can you call me and say you're shit or whatever because you can't fight? And if you could, you'd be a world champion and I wouldn't. Look, man, I mean, look, that's the route that some fighters take, Mike. You know, you've had debates with fighters, or I'm sure you've heard fighters have debates with commentators, then all of a sudden they say, how many fights you got? Because they got frustrated already. And they got to make it to, like, you don't know what I know because I've stepped in the ring. And I think that's the route that Fury's taking. But,
yeah,
let me just tell you, he's wrong. And not wrong because of my opinion. Wrong because Eddie's got at least 4 amateur fights. Straight lace.
Doing his homework.
Straight lace. He got like 4 amateur fights. He got like 4 amateur fights, so you can't tell that dude that he don't know what he's talking about. He's been in the ring. He's been in competition. He's been a competitor. And he's a damn good one as a promoter.
Yeah, definitely is a good promoter. But I think one of the things that I never did like about, you know what I'm saying, the boxing thing is where sometimes you have debates with people and they say, are you never been in the ring? Are you never been a fighter? But some of these fighters are the same guys that get on social media and talk about basketball and they never shot a jump shot in an organized game before, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So,
and betting on them games, you know what I'm saying? Mad at those fighters mad at those athletes when they don't win. I got another quote here, and opening quote. I understand that he's a promoter, and he has to try and run me down to make his fights look better, but come on. It is what it is. I'm sick of all the bullshit games. I say we can call a truce. The next negative word you say about me, I'm going to slap all your teeth in for you. Does he really assault Eddie?
Come on, bro. He's smarter than that. And nigga, he put his hands on Eddie, boy. He'd be fighting for Eddie for the rest of his life.
Can he at least act like he's going to assault Eddie and let his team hold him back, discreetly to fool the public? Like, in Spanish we say amagarlo. I don't know how you translate that into
You can
English.
get his pops to know what I'm saying,
flinch at Eddie. Make him flinch. Like, nigga, I said I was going to smack. And just flinch at Eddie, see if Eddie jump. Remember that shit back in the day?
It ain't going to jump, man. That's one thing. I don't think Eddie going to jump.
Because he was a fighter. That's why.
Yeah. But
yeah,
look,
right.
man. I'm glad that
Fury swing at you, even if it's joking, you flinching. If you don't flinch, you got bad reflexes.
Yeah, I'm glad that we got Fury, you know what I'm saying, back out here in the media talking a little bit more. It's always seemed like it's...
I mean, it is fight week for him. Like, You know, he always pumps it up when
It,
he's got a fight.
bro, no, he don't fight until like next month, bro.
Yeah, June 16th, right?
Yeah.
That's what I said. It's like fight week for him. He always pumps it up when he got a fight. Like,
Yeah, okay.
you know, he'll go away. Him and the wife will get the caravan, the gypsy wagon, they gone. But as soon as he sign a fight, everybody's fair game. And I just don't want you to go away from the true topic. This animosity stems from the fact that the WBC may or may not mandate this Dillian White versus Tyson Fury fight, and neither men want it.
I
These
think it
two
goes back farther
guys,
than that, bro.
it goes back further than that?
I think it goes back to where Tyson Fury was gonna make a comeback, and Eddie Hearn was like he wanted to fight nobodies. He wanted to fight fucking this guy and that guy and that guy
I
who
think
was.
Eddie was within his reason, bro. Eddie was offering him $3 million blank checks with no fucking B-side name on the print, bro.
I see that, but shit.
And of course, if I'm Eddie, I'm frustrated and I release all the details. I'm giving you $3 million to fight Francisco Piñanetta?
No. Remember, it was Tony Bellew, then Dillian White, then possibly AJ or something, or Tony Bellew, Chisora, White, something like that. It was always leading up to the AJ fight, but Fury's like, fuck that, I'm fighting Piñanetta.
But wait, he had the names. I thought when Eddie released the or when Fury released the contract, because Eddie was trying to say, "Oh, I wasn't paying you that much." Then I think Fury released it, showing that, "Yo, I was getting $3 million for tune-ups. That's what you was giving me." I didn't know that Fury was talking about tune-ups being.
That's what Eddie was talking about. Like he wanted Bellew, he wanted Chisora, and he wanted White for Fury on his comeback trail. But Fury was like, nah, I'm gonna fight Piñanetta, Patera. Then I'm gonna go fight Wilder, which shocked everybody. And then I just got me a big ass contract. So whatever I did, play it out and worked out better than what you planned, Eddie. That's what I'm thinking. And maybe Eddie's still a little bit, you know what I'm saying? No, I wouldn't say bitter, but a little bit mad that he didn't get Fury when he had a chance to, you know what I'm saying? And Fury just coming out now and saying, hey man, quit disrespecting my fights, man. Don't be saying bad things about Tom Schwartz. Tom Schwartz, I mean, we don't know him, but in Fury's eyes, he's a worthy opponent, which I disagree with. You know what I'm saying? Just being I've been honest with you. I don't think Tom Schwartz is going to put up much of a fight against Fury. I think Fury will end up knocking this guy out. And I know what people are thinking, Fury doesn't get knockouts, but if you go to the betting lines and look, the bookies think that he's going to stop this guy.
Yeah, that was shocking. I remember we watched that a couple of months ago and noticed that the bookies think Fury's getting a stoppage. And it could be because they seen him, like, honestly speaking, he was hitting a little harder when he fought Wilder. He kind of like shook Wilder up, pushed him back. So maybe they're looking at it like, okay, this guy has worked on power maybe?
I mean, he's just back in the rhythm. To be honest with you, like it's not him getting back in fat in shape. It's not him doing like a fat camp again. It's none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's Fury, who's been boxing since before the Wilder fight, been putting in work. So I think right now he's probably the best Fury that he possibly can be. You know what I'm saying? With the weight off, with the repetition that he's doing, and with Ben Davison, man. I think Ben Davison really does a good job with Fury and has Fury's ear, and Fury really value what Ben says and how Ben conducts training camps. From the little clips that they put out on IG, Fury looks like he's in damn good spirits, damn good shape. and damn good boxing. Just boxing ability, man, with the stutter steps, with the jab, with the lean back right hand. I mean, it's looking good, man. Looking good. It's gonna be another great fight when him and Wilder get back in the ring. Hopefully, those guys can do a trilogy or something like that, man. Or just let them fight once a year, man. Because that fight was amazing to me. Oh, what happened with our video?
Wait, what fight was amazing?
Fury and Wilder. I thought it was amazing, man.
I mean, I don't know. Have you gone back and watched it since then?
I watched it with
you. Had its lows.
I watched it with you on the live fight chat. I watched it on the airplane that day going back, and I watched it maybe like a month ago, man. I just think that the suspense, what was it called, suspense, or just like on the edge of your chair just waiting, even though you know what was going to happen now. I think that there were points where you were like, if Wilder could have landed there right there, or if Fury could have did that right there, you know what I'm saying, it would have made a difference in the fight. But for some reason, our shit on YouTube is not available. You hear me, homie?
It's unavailable. Keep working, champ. I
All
got
right,
you.
all right. But yeah, man. Uh, there we go, man. We back on this motherfucker. But yeah, man. Like I was saying, that fight between Wilder and Fury actually gave me more excitement for what's to come. I think that if Fury and Wilder would have ran it right back, I would have been extremely happy. But since they didn't, it seems like ESPN and Showtime could be leading up to a maybe a big pay-per-view production. You know what
I
I'm saying?
just don't think that it's gonna work out the way that Bob Arum or whoever, whatever higher X executives expected. I don't see this fight getting bigger the route that they're taking.
Depends on how Fury looks on
Too
ESPN.
much pressure. Too much pressure on Fury. Too much pressure. See, no one mentions Wilder because we know he's gonna destroy Brazil. But Schwartz is unknown, and
Man, look here, bro.
Fury isn't a puncher.
Don't matter, bro. I seen Schwartz his last. Well, I don't know if his last fight, but he had a fight with a guy where it was a horrible account of boxing. Guy is flopping like he's James Harden in the fucking basketball game. He acting like he's getting hit behind the head, and then he hits behind the head. So man, I just think that if this guy goes in there and even is competitive with Fury, then it's a loss for Fury. But I think the superior skills and the what Fury has been showing on his IG, the boxing ability, being 6'9", having longer reach, this guy doesn't stand a chance. And Fury should be on his front foot, trying to get this guy out of here, trying to press the action and showing the American public, hey man, I can be a heavyweight that dominates and knock people out too.
Yeah, I highly doubt that, man. Knockouts and Fury just not something that we typically say. He's a boxer's boxer,
Knocked out Chisora, right?
and that's just what I expect from him. I'm not expecting a knockout. I think that's an unnecessary burden to put on him.
I don't think it's a burden, bro. To be honest with you, I think, man, with sports, you're gonna look at sports and see if he really wants to come to win. It's only gonna be one way that he can win. He's not going to outbox Fury. Got to be a lot of pressure. Now, if he comes with that pressure, he plays right into Fury's wheelhouse. Uppercuts, hooks, straight rights. Going to be a chance for Fury to hurt this guy. And make no bones about it. When Fury gets you hurt, man, he a nasty motherfucker. He'll put his forearm in your neck, on your chest, and throw that right hand right down the pipe on your ass. So he's a mean dude.
Yeah, I mean, what could we say, bro? I'm more excited, to be honest with you, with the WBC's mandation
Come on, bro.
than I am with the fight.
We talked about that last night. Come on, man. We are Fury. Fury is not. Look, Fury had a chance to be the WBC mandatory or mandated fighter right after the fight with Deontay Wilder. And Dylan White said it the best. Why would Fury fight me when he had a chance at the world title? It makes no sense for me to get mandated for Fury, and
I think there's one reason, and we
Okay.
might have to ask Mauricio, but there's probably no rematch clause for Fury if he goes the no. I said that wrong. There's no rematch clause for Fury if he goes the eliminator route. I think the way that he's going now, this is a voluntary rematch, there may not be a rematch clause. You know, it might be something that has to be negotiated. Excuse me. There may be a rematch clause, is what I'm saying. And again, we know that going the mandatory route, there is no rematch. So if you beat Wilder, you could just walk away. That's what I meant to say. I know I said it took me a long time to get there, but I kind of messed that up.
I'm not sure if there was a rematch clause in the last. Well, I think it was, but it just didn't cover.
No, it was.
the draw.
Remember, it was. It just didn't cover the draw. And then they negotiated again, and Wilder was giving him another rematch. So that's what I'm saying. If you're Fury, you know you in your minds, in your heart of hearts, you think you can beat Wilder. Why go in there to negotiate for a rematch? Just get the eliminator done. Because if you could beat Wilder, you could beat Dillian. And get the eliminator done and take the belt. No negotiating. You get 40% anyway. There's no real reason to do business with them unless you don't mind, because you understand that a Wilder Fury fight, 3 of those fights are still big fights in the division, so you don't care to do rematch clauses. But if you don't want to do a rematch, the way to go is eliminator.
Maybe you look at White as a unnecessary
risk.
Yeah, no,
I mean, it is
unnecessary. It
is. But at this point, White has solidified himself as an economic draw.
But what that mean to me though?
To Fury? You mean to me, meaning your Fury?
Yeah. Man,
that it is risk and reward, not only risk like you're trying to put it.
Yes,
Listen, hold on. Let me defend that. Let me defend that because
No.
Dillian White is a pay-per-view star in the United Kingdom. Both these men are from the United Kingdom, so it could at least be negotiated that this fight can happen in the United Kingdom.
But
if not, I understand Fury being A-side. I understand Fury receiving more money because it's on ESPN and it's on in the US. But Dillian White, come on, bro. You acting like that's not a good B-side.
I'm not even saying that. It is a great fight. It's whatever you say it is, but yes, I already got my money, bro.
What you mean?
I've already got my money. I fight Swartz. I fight whoever else next, then I fight Wilder. Why the fuck would I go fight Dillian White?
Because it's going to be mandated.
I'm already, for who?
For him.
Bro, if they tell me, ha, that's what he did.
Yeah, no problem. And they can also not let him get the rematch.
Bro, you out your
No, you out your mind. If he,
your mind.
Let me tell you something. If he tries to laugh at Mauricio Suleiman, they will take his ass out the rankings. Do some Googling searches. You don't disrespect the sanctioning body and think you're still gonna fight for their title. You bumped your fucking head.
He just laughed at it. Dillian White's been talking shit.
Who he laughed at? Who he laughed at?
Bro, it's on the article is in the thing. Fury laughs at the WBC mandating him and White. Says that
Do you see the WBC calling for a Fury Wilder rematch? He can laugh all he want.
Bro, they mandated.
When it's his time to get a shot, we'll see if he laughing.
We'll
see
if
they don't remember that.
Hold on. You saying that Fury won't get a shot against Wilder again?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if he tries to publicly discredit the WBC and their rulings, which they haven't ruled yet, so he can laugh all he want. They haven't told someone who's in their sanctioning bodies to do what they want yet. When they do, and he chooses to defy them, not listen to them, whatever he decides to do, then they will take action. Because for every action, there's a reaction.
You mean like Dillian White did and not fight Ortiz or fight whoever else, but he's still in the ranking, right?
And I love your sarcasm. And guess what Dillian White don't got? A shot.
He's still trying to get it.
Guess what, Dillian? And
But
why you think so?
Why
you think? No. You can't do that. You brought something up. It's my turn to rebut.
He already had a previous fight with Wilder. We know what fight Wilder wants. So you think Wilder's not gonna fight Fury next?
He know he put his foot in his mouth. Now he want to talk about, but look at Dillian White. He ain't get taken out the rankings, but they ain't moved his ass. They did not move him. He over here crying to everybody that would listen that he ain't get a shot. Maybe you shouldn't have disrespected WBC with them 3 mandations, and maybe you'd have been moving. Meanwhile, everybody else calling in saying, hey, why the WBC? It's been 500 days. I don't know. Mike said he didn't disrespect them. Mike said they didn't feel disrespected, but it's been 500 days.
Bro, Fury is gonna laugh at
Fury
that
and Wilder
rumor.
had a fight and had an immediate rematch by the WBC, not by
Okay.
Wilder, by the
Okay.
WBC.
WBC.
I
Okay.
guess he was in high
Okay.
graces back then with the WBC, not white.
No,
Not
it was a
white.
competitive fight. Nip.
Not
What you talking
white.
about?
Not
It was
white.
it was a fight that was competitive and
Yeah.
had controversy, so that's why they ran it back.
500 days
Hold
and
on,
some
can I
change.
finish my fucking point? The exact same thing they did for Triple G and Canelo, a fight that was very competitive and had a lot of controversy. They told both guys to run the shit back. Fury said, "No, I'm not going to run it back."
Just like
Can
Canelo
I
said
finish
no.
my fucking point? Or
Just
you
like
keep fucking talking?
Canelo said no.
Fury-
Remember, it ain't
Fury-
happen.
Fury said, "No, I'm not going to do it right now." Then y'all trying to mandate me. I'm going to laugh at y'all mandation, and I'm still going to fight Deontay Wilder when I want to fight him. That's what's going to happen because Deontay Wilder wants that fight. Bob Arum and Showtime knows that that's a big fight for both their fighters, so they're going to put it on.
So-
and the WBC
so now you telling
is
me-
going to the WBC will support that fight. Watch.
So now you telling me that if the WBC tell Fury to fight Dillian White, that Deontay Wilder is the end all be all, and he could say no, I want to fight Fury.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Sounded like that.
They can mandate Fury right now to fight White, and he'd be like, "Nah, man, I'm not gonna do it." And come next year, in March, like Bob Arum said, that's when they want to do the rematch. If Wilder says, "Hey, I want to do a voluntary with Fury," you think the WBC is gonna say no after we had Mr. Suleiman on saying that they back their fucking champion? You're tripping.
Yeah, I think so. I think especially when you disobey a direct order from the sanctioning body that you're trying to get a title shot in, absolutely. Absolutely. I think
Guess we'll agree to disagree, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, for real. I mean, look, if not, no one will listen to your mandations. If you're saying that the elite are above your mandations, then why would anyone else? Why would Luke Campbell fight Vasil?
Haven't they already proved that, though, Dumness?
I don't know what you mean. Who proved what?
That the elite is above their mandation. When Canelo was mandated to fight for Triple G right away, did he? Did he do that right away?
Well, didn't he test positive? That's why he couldn't fight him?
Oh man, I'm talking about a long time ago, man. I'm talking about when he had the WBC belt and he vacated it, not to fight Triple G. I'm talking about that.
Well, if you vacate, that's your way out.
Okay.
You took the shame.
Okay, but he still came back. He still came back and got his fight. And there was a little, I don't put it, a little rift between Canelo and the WBC.
Yes.
He felt like the WBC was doing him wrong.
Yes.
And now come full circle. Fucking Mr. Suleiman said, "That's our franchise fighter right there."
But it's always been.
That's our franchise fighter right there,
But it's
dog.
always
After
been.
all that shit he did, after him dropping the belt, after him having a disagreement in public with the WBC, now he's their franchise fighter.
He's always been.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Been. The thing is, you weren't around for like Jose Cotto, Matthew Hatton, Alfonso Gomez, all these people that they were sanctioning to fight Canelo for that WBC. I think it was like an interim or silver or some shit at 147. And at the time, Vanez was either WBC.
That goddamn Vanez name come up every time.
Yeah,
Somehow
well,
Vanez name come up.
He was with Top Rank, and they got him to the position. Now, I don't remember if they got him to that position at 47 or 54, probably 54, as I remember him as a 54-pounder. But I know that he, at one point, many, many years ago, between 5 and 6 years ago, maybe 7 and 6 years ago, used to call out Canelo when he was exactly 30-1 or 30-0-1. He had one draw at the time, and he was 30-0. He was like the WBC something. And in any interview that he done, TV or YouTube, he felt like he was supposed to be fighting Canelo, and they were protecting him. But it's always been like that. the Mexican fight, that's a Mexican sanctioning body. Like, that's just the way that it works, unfortunately. If you think back when Juan Manuel Lopez was popular, look at all the favoritism that he got. He was knocked out in every fight, and, like, they still let him be champion, right? So, like, I'm not saying it's the right thing, but that's just the way that things work out sometimes, bro. Like, they have their guys. And Canelo's always been one of their guys. If you notice, most of these new sleek belts are always done around a Canelo fight. The Julia Chow belt.
Yeah.
Like, you never see them do. They never
The
did a
Mayan
fucking.
belt.
They never did a Mayan belt for Cotto versus Trout. But anytime Canelo fights, so that's what I'm saying. Like, him physically saying, "Oh, he's our franchise champion." Like, bro, I've been knew that. I've been knew that.
Yeah, bro,
Listen, if you Google right now, Mike, there were rumors 5 to 8 years ago that Canelo and Suleiman are connected in terms of relation. Like either
brothers. Damn.
either Suleiman is his godfather or some shit like that. So Google
it makes sense.
Google it. Like, favoritism, that's come on, bro. Like, who the fuck doesn't know that? Like we don't know the WBO shows favoritism to Frank Warren and Top Rank. Like, we don't know that. Like, we don't know that Mauricio shows favoritism to Mexicans and to PBC. Nah, we don't know. We don't know that.
And Don King.
But you see, that's why I fuck with the WBC, because you can't align them to just one person.
Can't.
Like, I can't just say with Al Heyman. I can't just say with Golden Boy, because look at what they do for Golden Boy left and right, because Canelo is Golden Boy. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different from Paco, WBAS, and the WBO, that they just deal with certain people. It's certain champions are sanctioned and winning, and they sanction about it. It's not like that with the WBC. Do they have favoritism? I believe so, just like we all do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't even call it favoritism. I would call it nepotism.
Alliances.
Well, yeah, man. Damn, how do we get to there?
because we talked about the WBC, doing Canelo.
Oh,
wrong,
yeah, you're right. Okay,
and then
okay,
turning
gotcha.
around and naming him their franchise fighter, and that's why Canelo got upset, because he knows he's been around with the WBC for all that time, and it's like, yo, you really pushing me to fight Gennady? But that's why, again, I fuck with the WBC, because when you thought they weren't, you thought they was too pro Canelo, they said, nah, bruh, go fight that man. This man out here calling Mexican style. Go fight that man. And they made him fight him. Regardless if you think it took long, regardless if you think they had a public feud, guess what? My man had to come back after that layoff where he fought no one and Gennady did fight someone. And he had to come and fight Gennady. Regardless of what you say, regardless of what you thought, he left upset, took his ball, like, fuck your belt, threw it on the playground floor, left, still had to come back and fight Gennady. Same way Fury will. Don't let the WBC mandate your ass to fight Dillian. You will be frozen out. Think it's a game. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you think he'll be forced to fight Dillian and won't be able to get a shot at Wilder?
They gonna make that motherfucker fight somebody, because you know Dillian ain't gonna stand still. Dillian ain't gonna stand still.
No, Dillian's gonna fight.
And this is what I told you the last time. I want the WBC to say, look, Dillian White, Tyson Fury, first man to back out, last man automatic mandatory. Simple as that. So ain't nobody backing out, only the faggot backing out.
And that's mandatory though. But when you go to the voluntary route, if Wilder says, I want to fight this guy who everybody think I lost to.
Wilder listens to this show. Don't get the fuck involved. Go do something else. You got Kornacki and Luis Ortiz to worry about. Let Dillian White and Fury fight.
Okay then. Well, that makes it a lot easier then. So yeah, Fury has to fight.
Listen, Wilder and them said on this show, 2020 for Fury rematch. They done said that.
Yes.
Bob Arum said he want 2 tune-ups. Now you can't get another tune-up. You got Schwartz, Dillian. Deal with that.
You gonna see, man. But if Dillian got to be Oscar Rivas first. So,
bruh, either way, Tyson got to see. This is what I ain't understanding. Either way, he got to see Dillian. Dillian is number 1 in the WBC, and he's like number 1 in the WBO.
Yep.
And you trying to fight Tom Schwartz for the position? No, fight me.
I hope they don't fuck.
You talking about, they disrespecting Dillian because you don't want that sauce. I'm just
All
keeping it real. I'm keeping
Yeah.
it real. What you mean they disrespecting Fury? Meanwhile, you and your promoter more than likely petitioning for that WBO shot versus Tom Schwartz to be a mandation.
I hope they don't do that, bro. I hope they
They
don't do
trying to
that.
jump
Seeing,
right over Dillian. Dillian number 1 in the WBO, WBC, number 4 in the WBA.
and the WBO should be calling the mandatory soon and saying that Usyk got hurt. You know
Now
what I'm saying?
check this out. Okay, Fury's trying to act like it ain't about fair. He's saying, oh, it's not fair. Give him a shot. Cool. He get the shot before you. And you don't get no mandatory. Why does Fury get to come back and automatically raise his hand and say, yeah, let's fight, Wilder? After you
It's not
win
even that, bro. I don't think it's him necessarily like raising his hand. I think it's both companies saying that like this may be the biggest fight that we can do right now outside of the Joshua fight, and we have already built-in promotional thing that's going on that fans can see the first fight, and let's just build off of that. I mean, I think Top Rank is going to be under a lot of pressure, man. They've been delivering subpar cards. These cards have been one-sided. I love Crawford, but the Khan fight was one-sided. The fight over the weekend was one-sided. This sports fight is one-sided. So Top Rank is going to need to put on some competitive fights, and if they don't start doing it soon, it's going to be a problem.
Dillian White, Tyson Fury, super competitive.
Yes, but some guy got to want it. I know Dylan White wants it.
Listen, again, man, don't fall for the bullshit. It's no different than Wilder saying he ain't taking 50-50, man. All this shit is negotiation. You say you don't want to fight so that the offers are enticing or so that Eddie, Sky, Dazn, whoever's going to be back in Dillian come to the purse bid with the big bucks. Because ultimately it benefits both fighters anyway. I'm not about to jump the gun and assume that these dudes won't fight each other. I just don't see that, especially if you're Dillian White. Dillian White's going to listen to whatever mandation the WBC gives because he wants his shot.
Maybe every one of them, but maybe not all of them.
All of what?
The mandations that they're
Yeah, I
giving.
mean, he'll listen though. Unlike this guy who's out here just,
Eddie's trying to petition the WBC to make that Rivas fight final eliminator.
Which is crazy.
Number one gets him a
Rivas
9.
is number fucking 10.
Oh, number 10. I thought it was number 9.
He's the 10. Like, you skipping everybody. So Adam Komnacki hasn't done more than Oscar Rivas, so you beat Brian Jennings and that's it. You an eliminator.
You think Adam Kornacki will take a fight with Dylan White?
I don't think he would because he doesn't need to.
Me too. Okay.
Because he's already on the Wilder side.
Yes.
But
It'd be a fight that I want to see though. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight.
But I don't know that he doesn't. I don't know that he doesn't because again, if WBC calls Adam and says, yo, eliminator between you and Dillian, and he says, nah, I pass, he's also passing on his Wilder opportunity because it's going to push those plans back.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to push those plans back. Whatever you, Wilder, Keith Conley, Espinoza talked about how you might be next or next after, the sanctioning bodies are trying to slide a fight inside of those two now to make it 3, so it pushes you back. Do you want to be pushed back? Can you risk Wilder staying undefeated for another 3 fights or at least 2 to get to your 3rd? Do you want to do that? Because if you pass over and Dillian White gets mandated and he fights Joseph Parker's number 6,
damn,
we get a rematch with Joseph Parker or Alexander Povetkin for an eliminator, and then Wilder's like, fuck it, Dillian's been talking so much shit. Fury's the fucking guy that shitted on me, left me with my dick in my hand. I gave him a contract. 5 days he leave. Man, fuck Fury and his voluntary rematch. We'll do that later.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going to
would.
beat this Brit's head off.
I would.
I'm going to take this guy's head off.
That's exactly what I want Wilder to do.
Now if you add him, who the fuck you fighting? You already beat Areola. July already came and passed.
Yeah.
Now you got to fight somebody else.
Parker, maybe?
And I'm just saying, we're not going to say no names, but we know that we spoke to people who are in positions and passed up very big opportunities. And
damn, I forgot about that shit. I totally forgot about that.
And they like, yo, why would I take that fight when I could take this fight and get that automatic shot?
Exactly.
So What does Adam do while he's waiting? Because he already don't want to take tough fights while he's waiting for this automatic shot. So he ain't even fighting a Joseph Parker. I'm telling you, he's fighting a Chris Arreola type, maybe a Travis Kaufman after that.
Travis Kaufman, Chris Arreola, Chris Hammer.
Nah, Hammer. Yo, I think they're gonna stay away from Hammer. He did okay versus Ortiz.
Hammer got niggas out here shook, huh?
Not shook, but he did okay versus Ortiz. That's not the tune-up you want. You want a Brian Jennings tune-up, no disrespect. But you see how Jennings lost. You want something like that. Ustinov, that they keep using him because they see how he loses.
Yep.
5 to 6 rounds, you out of there by knockout. That's what we need.
I seen a Hammer knockout fucking
90 seconds.
Look at his name, big guy from UK, David Price. Knocked his ass completely the fuck out.
That's a name too right there. But look, man, we'll see the way it goes. Let's open up these phone lines for you guys. You know the number to call in.
Let's get busy. If you're listening right now on YouTube, smash that thumbs up button, man. 300 people watching, only 27 thumbs up. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. So go ahead and smash that thumbs up button, man. It helps with the visibility of the show. If you want to go one step farther, head over to the patreon.com/theboxingvoice and go ahead and sign up. As little as $3 a month, a little cup of coffee, and we got tiers ranging all the way up to the half a pound tier. So check it out, man, and support your favorite podcast by going over to Patreon and signing up now. Not now, but like right now.
True. So first, a word from our sponsors.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
And don't be calling there and saying Fury doesn't have to take it. He doesn't need it. We don't. No, we want to see Fury fight White. The best against the best. If you don't want to see good people fight and make good fights, don't call in trying to save a motherfucker saying he shouldn't take the fight because he got a date with Wilder next year. Do we know that for sure? He didn't want the fucking fight a couple months ago. What makes you think that he's gonna want it next year? Just saying.
Yeah, man. But that's what we do, man. As fans, we give our fighters excuses, ways out. You know, we give them loopholes. You know, we really do. But yeah, let's go out, get this thing started.
BoxingVoice.com.
It's money to shit. Working that bitch. Ballin' like Swish. Diamonds wet like a fish. Pull up with them sticks. Come fuck with the clique. We fucked on your bitch. She sucking the dick. I'm whipping the work.
Hey yo, what's going on? It's your boy H Money, Mr. Dazn, and I gotta talk about Tyson Fury. He disrespecting Eddie Hearn. You disrespecting the money man. You disrespecting the king of boxing, the man who took over boxing, Eddie Hearn. And then on top of that, Tyson Fury is ducking all of Eddie Hearn fighters. What about Tyson Fury ducking Dylan White? Yeah, because he know Dylan White gonna knock him out. You know what I'm saying? What about Tyson Fury running to ESPN? He running away from everybody. He ran away from Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder dropped him 2 times. Deontay Wilder won that fight. Deontay Wilder, he's the WBC heavyweight champion in the world. It's fight week. Dominic Brazil getting knocked out. Deontay Wilder got the best right hand since Tommy Hearn. Deontay Wilder got a 1-2 like Tommy the Hitman Hearn. Can't nobody take his punch. And you telling me Tyson Fury got the nerve to run his mouth and he ducking? Tyson Fury ain't shit. He ain't got no punching power. Tyson Fury took steroids. What about Tyson Fury cheating? What about Tyson Fury being a cheater? What about that? He don't want no smoke. Tyson Fury is a bum. I said it. He the heavyweight version of Paulie Malignaggi. Tyson Fury ain't shit. Fuck Tyson Fury.
Cut it.
H Money with that energy, boy. I caught the end of it, boy. It sounded like you was going in on Fury ass.
Called him a bit of a bum.
Okay. Hey, you know. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and those guys from Memphis, Tennessee, they do not hold their fucking tongue. I tell you one thing about that.
Let's go to New Jersey. Stunner, talk to me.
What up, Stunner? What up, Stunner? What's the business?
What's good? What's good? Can y'all hear me today?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, man. You sound better.
Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. So I want to speak to my fellow Americans, right?
USA.
Right
USA.
now with this, USA, yes, sir. So right now with Tyson Fury and Dylan White, two UK fighters who have in the last year each ducked fighters in plain sight. As Americans, all we can do is sit back and watch these two ducks avoid each other. I mean, it's pretty hilarious. I mean, Dylan White is in the same position that Luis Ortiz was in last year when the WBC ordered them to fight. But now that it's the other way around, if White wants to, but the guy that he's ordered to fight doesn't want to fight him. And so it appears he's all mad and frustrated. Now, there was something that Ness said. He was saying, oh, they should order the fight, and then whoever pulls out of the fight, should just lose their spot, and the other should get the mandatory. That's completely bullshit, because where was that energy last year when Dylan White ducked Luis Ortiz twice? So, like I said, I mean, it's going to play out how it's going to play out.
Though? Last year, we weren't 100% sure, man. This year, we found out from the horse's mouth that they mandated it. Last year, I promise you, I wasn't never 100% sure.
No. Yes. You know more about boxing than me. The fight was ordered twice by Mauricio Suleiman last year. They completely ignored the ruling and chose to fight Joseph Parker. Cut it.
Nah, listen, and what I'm telling you is that I don't disagree with that. I just never felt like this year. Like, when that happened, Mike, did you ever read that article? That's the thing. Like, I never knew that was real.
No. I never seen it mandated, but what I did see was Wilder saying, if you want me.
Yeah, but that's Wilder.
I understand that, bro, but hold on,
But Mike, there's so many conflicting statements from Wilder for any fighter to just take that as their end-all, be-all sentence.
I think Wilder, man of his word. If he's out here publicly saying on every interview that, hey, if you fight Ortiz and you beat him, you got me. I think Wilder's a man of his word and will live up to his word. And if you don't, hey, that's your opinion. And when has Wilder ever ducked anybody? That's what I want to know. Niggas out here ducking Wilder.
I mean, according to the UK, he's ducking AJ. He's been offered numerous offers to fight AJ and said no to all of them.
Man, give me 50-50 and show me what you making. That's all we ask for. Give me 50-50 and show me what you making. If we making them the same, then we can fight. If not, then go on with that bullshit. I ain't about to motherfucking sign myself over and you got stock options and you got goddamn me TV rights in other countries and I'm not getting none of it. Boy, yeah, out y'all motherfucking mind. I was born at night, but nigga won last night.
But the UK people say, why you counting AJ pockets?
I'm counting my pockets, homie. That's what I'm doing. I'm counting my pockets. I'm trying to make sure that my value that I think I'm worth, I get every cent of. Period.
By asking me how much I'm getting?
Not by asking you how much I'm getting. By asking you how much is in the pot and looking at my split and looking at what's left in the pot, be like, hey, there's some extras in there. I need those.
So I got up early. I went to the gym.
You went to the gym this morning?
I went to the Olympics.
Okay, never mind.
I won gold. I did what people didn't think I would do and what heavyweights before me haven't done. I won a world title in my 16th fight. I unified with a living legend in Vladimir Klitschko. I then unified again with Joseph Parker. I then fought the guy that you didn't fight, the one that you sued, in Alexander Povetkin. I fought Dillian White, who they offering you almost $10 million to fight. I've done all that, and you beat Stavern and got your title. and you had a draw with Tyson Fury, and you beat Luis Ortiz, and you think you deserve 50-50. I'm not done.
I'll never be done, and you still cut me off.
All right, but you gonna make me lose my whole train of thought, bro. I don't even know what I was gonna say. This is crazy.
Thank you. You fought Dylan White, a guy who was fucking British level at the time, domestic level at the time, wasn't considered a fucking top heavyweight at the time. Oh, you mean to tell me you beat Vladimir Klitschko, a guy who was off 2 years, who's coming off a loss to fucking Tyson Fury? You beat him. Good job. You beat fucking the fucking New Zealand Kiwi, who I love, man. I love Joseph Parker. He's a great guy. But a guy who came to my fight down in Alabama, saw me knock a motherfucker down and out, and said, "No, I don't want that fight. I go fight AJ in fucking England. I don't want Wilder. He hit too hard." But you want props for that, nigga?
Okay, so that's how you see it.
I'm not fucking finished yet.
No, you cut me off. You cut me off. You cut me off. It's my turn. It's my turn. Because he want to talk about Joseph Parker. That's your fault you ain't get the Joseph Parker fight. Why the fuck you couldn't offer him an offer that he'll stay there and lose to you? What you think? He afraid of AJ and not afraid of Wilder, or afraid of Wilder and not afraid of AJ? That shit don't make no fucking sense. What made sense was the dollars that Eddie Hearn gave him to go fight AJ, and what didn't make sense was me going to Showtime, sitting there at your fight, and then being offered an offer for a couple of million to unify with you when I could be offered triple, double, and backside with AJ. Don't try to put it on. Don't try to put it on Parker being scared.
I love how you start as a boxer and end up as a financial advisor. I love it.
Brother,
great job.
You're the one trying to paint Joseph Parker as coming to Wilder's fight and being afraid.
My nigga, did he not do that?
No.
The fuck out of here. All right, now.
No. So you telling me the offer wasn't greater from Eddie Hearn?
I don't know what the offer was, but I do know Dave Higgins and Eddie Hearn was going back for weeks about that percentage. So whatever it was, Dave Higgins got what he wanted. But what I do know is this right here. Joseph Parker.
The rumor was like 37.5%, Mike. Wasn't the rumor like 33 or 37.5%?
Somewhere around there, and they were trying to get it.
Exactly. That's a
but
high percentage.
What I do know, he was at that Gerald Washington fight and seen Gerald Washington get decapitated.
That's also where he seen the offer.
All right, now.
That's also where he seen the offer that he can't even fucking buy a Bugatti with.
I love how you go from boxing to motherfucking financial advisor.
I mean, if it make dollars, it makes sense.
But then we were just talking about resume, about who we beat, and then when I text that ass, you want to motherfucking go to he offered me more money.
How you taxing me? You're taxing me by saying the fighter was too afraid to fight Wilder, so he fought AJ. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying the guy came to my fight first.
You're saying Joseph Parker came to the fight, got afraid.
Take how you want to take it. He came to my fight
that's
first
what you're saying.
and then fight me.
Yeah.
He's seen what I did.
I got so afraid I ran to the bigger, more bulkier, more technically straighter gold medalist unified champion.
Or technically straighter and went 12 with him.
This dude right here,
12 with him.
Bruh,
a guy who was coming off a fucking fight with Takim.
Lost it.
A guy who was coming off a fight with Takim, and Joseph Parker saying, "Damn, if Takim can do that, what can I do? I'll be Takim very, very, well, not very easy, but much more easier than AJ did."
You're the realist right now.
If Takim can do that, what can I do?
No.
That's what he was thinking. That's what he was thinking, man. Get it right.
Mike, listen, come on, bro. We both grown-ups, and I don't want anyone thinking that you don't know your shit. You are a dude that is self-motivated. You go the extra mile, and you've been putting in the work, bro. We both know it was about finances, man. Let's not make it about fear, bro. Come on, don't go that angle, bro. Especially when I always try to discredit Joseph Parker and you back him. Now you flipping the script and not backing Joe. Like, come on, bro. Don't do that.
It's an argument, nigga. I don't care what. If we arguing, you're on one side, I'm on the other side. I'm trying to win, period.
So you're saying that depending on the argument, you might not give a fuck about your stance. Okay.
Not saying that. I'm saying is when we're not arguing about the talent level of Joseph Parker. We're arguing about what motivation that he had to fight Wilder or AJ. That's a whole different argument.
Mike, it's just so difficult, bro. Like, at the end of the day, the only thing I can think of, because I like Wilder, I like Al, I feel like these guys know big business. So I think yesterday you mentioned it, something like, I'm paraphrasing here, but like planning, long-term planning.
Strategic planning, yes.
And that's the only thing. Like, that's my only, as a Wilder fan, that's the only backup I got. That's my last ace in my pocket. Like, nah, they were thinking long-term. They wanted to build Wilder off the dollars of everyone else. And what I mean by that is, by having him do less and just attach his name to AJ, he builds his name. But,
vice versa.
But AJ did more. And Wilder could have done the same. So the argument is there that his team failed him. But the argument is there, like you are presenting, that his team are thinking long-term. They decided to use Eddie Hearn's money and ESPN's money and everyone else's money to build Wilder, which in some weird way can be true. Because right now, he's systematically raised his profile high enough where the argument is 50-50. But at the end of the day, AJ has done more in the division. At the end of the day, AJ has been making a certain dollar amount. AJ has huge endorsements. There is no Under Armour for Wilder. There's Everlast. You know? I mean, dude, now that I'm like trying to do video for the show and shit, I go through AJ's Instagram. Every other post
is something
is
sponsored.
A sponsored post.
Yes.
I'm a Wilder fan. I don't see sponsored posters on Wilder. And that's cool because Floyd said, you're not going to use me and I'm not going to be used. I'm going to promote me, Floyd Mayweather Jr., and whatever the fuck I'm doing. My strip club, you don't like it, but that's what I'm promoting. Yep. TMT, you don't like it, but that's what I'm promoting. And now you can't go anywhere without seeing a TMT hat or shirt. I mean, fuck, Mike doesn't stop wearing this shit, right? So,
hey, one thing that I would say that AJ had a upper league is, I think he had more promotion behind him when he came out of the Olympics. But
that's what I'm saying.
I know. I totally understand
Wilder's
that.
team dropped the ball. Wilder's team had Fury, had Dillian White, had Big Baby, had Joseph Parker. Mm-hmm. Like, and again, if they didn't drop the ball, they are these fucking, what's my man name from Marvel? It'd be like, these niggas is Doctor Strange. That's the only way. They seeing into the future and they like, fuck it, Wilder, don't take the Joseph Parker fight. Why are we going to offer Joseph $5 million? You going to get that belt at the end. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, don't take the Dillian White fight for $8 million. You're going to make $8 million times 10 at the end. And he just keeps shaking his head. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Let's be real. Okay, they offered him $5 million for Derek Chisora, $8 million for Dillian White, 15, 12, 70, fucking 40, 120. Like, come on, bro. These dudes got a plan that we don't even know.
No, don't know about.
We don't even know.
Don't know about.
Okay, because the average man is looking at this shit and they like, what?
The fuck you doing?
Why you didn't fight Joseph Parker? Why you didn't unify with Vlad? What? Wait a minute. I was a Wilder fan for 5 years and all of a sudden you telling me his manager is Vlad's manager? So why the fuck we didn't get that fight?
One thing that
No. Don't gloss over it. Because that's what happened to me. I was such a Wilder fan, I never connected the dots. I never knew Shelly Finkel was the manager for Vlad. I never knew Shelly was already doing business with Eddie. I never knew Shelly was the one that made AJ the biggest star he is by giving him the Vlad fight. So why couldn't you convince Vlad to fight Wilder?
Get the money.
What money?
I think the AJ and Vlad fight was a much bigger fight than Vlad and Wilder. Also, Michael.
Can I finish my thought? Isn't Wilder and AJ a much bigger fight? Meanwhile, Wilder talking about Luis Ortiz and Adam Kovnacki. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm trying to tell you that I believe that I don't know if Vlad would have fought Wilder because the money and the fanfare weren't there. Because remember, Vlad did 90,000 at Wembley with AJ. Also, Vlad was in a 2-year fucking fight thing with Fury, so that had him tied up. And Eddie just might have came in late and stole fucking Vlad away from Wilder by offering him that Wembley fight. Go ahead.
So, I'm simply just stating, why couldn't they get him the fight?
I don't know. That's where Michael came in.
You're saying, listen.
That's where I came in.
You turned into a financial advisor like I did earlier. Now you're saying, well, the AJ Vlad fight was just simply more money, Ness. But let me
Same thing you saying about Parker though.
Exactly. And that's what I'm telling you. It's only one side continuously dropping the ball or got this crystal ball seeing into the future.
I don't think they're dropping the ball. I think the money is just so much better when you fight AJ. It's just like, why would I fight Wilder and take that risk? I think that's the point.
And I'm going to, again, if you allow me to give you the analogy, there are people like Luis Ortiz who've turned down $7 million because Al told them. So don't you see what I'm telling you?
No, Al didn't tell him. Don't say Al told him.
Caribe Promotions or Dade County Promotions, right? Go. Okay. Why didn't Adam take the fight?
I forgot what he told us in the
forget what he told us. Why do you think he didn't take the fight? What he told us is off record. Why do you think he didn't take the fight?
He been promised a Wilder fight. That's why my personal opinion.
So now you said to me, oh, Ness, the Wilder versus Klitschko fight couldn't happen because it's more money in the AJ fight, right? So why the fuck wouldn't guys go fight AJ? They sitting around waiting, chilling. Luis Ortiz like, I'ma just wait for Wilder. Adam, I'ma just wait for everybody waiting for Wilder. But you're saying there's more money across the street.
I got you, but
okay, go ahead.
I don't think Wilder was the star that he is now. When the Klitschko fight was been talked about, or even the Parker fight was been talked about. I think
totally agree.
When he fought Parker, he had like 280,000 followers on IG. Now he's at 1.7.
Totally agree. So what are you saying now that because his popularity raised, these
the bag
men,
might be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but is it AJ bigger?
Nah.
Exactly.
Depends on what AJ offering these niggas. Because if you only offer me $4 million and I'm getting $2 million fight Wilder plus back in, hey.
What you mean? Hey, do the math, genius. You went to school. If you're only getting $2 million on the front and we sell 400,000 pay-per-views, how much is your back end?
I'm not saying back end like that. I'm saying that the other Al Hammond check that they always get plus the pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? It's still, come on, man, do the math. How do you know though, Ness? How do you know how much that promotional
back end
LLC
check
is getting?
Okay.
How do you know? Tell me.
All right, because all we're going to do is we're going to keep it on hypotheticals. Are you going to hypothetically assume it is more than the front check? Because I've never thought of it that way. The most I thought is maybe the front check matches the back check.
I thought maybe
I still think that's a lot. Imagine someone getting 15 in the front. You think they're getting 15 on the back? Come on, bro.
Who getting 15 on the front though?
I thought that was the minimum Wilder could be getting for the Dominic. I thought that was the minimum because the zone offered him 20. What you talking about, bro? Keep your head in the game.
My bad, you right. It's in my mind, you right. For 15 million.
I'm just saying. Look, I don't
think you get 15 million on the front, though.
$2 million on the front, $2 million on the back, but we ain't talking no crazy shit. We ain't going broke over you motherfuckers. Like, that ain't how it's working. And that's what I'm saying. If they are like, how much, realistically, how much is Adam Kovnacki getting to fight Wilder?
Realistically, $3 million.
All right, bro. So how you telling me you gonna turn down AJ plus $3 million? That's what I'm telling you. Like, if they could make Adam, not make, because we know Adam ain't being made, but
convince.
If these guys is not going to get the bigger check, why did AJ fight Vlad? Why did Parker fight AJ? It's like, tell me why they couldn't do what they doing now. This whole limbo, put your fighter in trance shit, why they couldn't do it back then? Wilder would have been bigger than he is right now if they would have did that back then. But whatever, man. We opened up the phone lines. Let's get out there. We're going to Javier the Mastermind. Talk to me.
What's going on, Javier? Nigga, Dan, they choked him goddamn on T right.
Alabama.
I want Joshua. Joshua, come and see me, baby.
Well, if he doesn't have
FightFighters.com.
What up, Javi? What's the business?
Yeah. See how that nigga tried to play me? He went to play the intro at first. All right. Hey man, stop saying why didn't Vlad fight Wilder? Nigga, you know why. First off, he was damn near blackballed from America. Didn't anybody want to watch his ass here? Second off, he was big in Europe, so it only makes sense to fight a nigga who's in Europe where you're already basically a star.
Can I just rebut that first part? Can I just rebut that first part?
Pause my time while you rebut it.
So that first part, he says, "Oh, he was blackballed." Meanwhile, they bought Fury versus Wilder. I mean, Fury versus Vlad.
Alright, and that was a snooze fest.
Whoa. Hold on. They didn't buy it, my nigga. AJ was already under Showtime's contract.
You on a whole other subject. We talking about Fury,
he said Vlad and Fury. He said Vlad and Fury.
Oh, okay, my bad.
They
HBO,
bought that.
I thought Vlad was an HBO fighter.
He was, but that's what I'm saying. They got option Javier to say no.
Right,
we don't want that fight. Like they've told Triple G. HBO has denied like 15 opponents from Triple G.
Can you listen though?
Go ahead.
Hey, listen, nigga. If you listen to what I'm saying, is his last fight on American TV. Well, his last big fight that we saw, right, was Fury versus Vlad. And what does everybody say about that fight? It was boring as shit.
Javier, but if you listen to me, right? What I am saying is I'm trying to Thanos snap. You know what I'm saying? Erase the Fury fight and ask you motherfuckers why Vlad didn't fight Wilder.
Okay, he lost to Fury.
You can't erase the Fury fight because Fury was mandatory.
Like we talk about. Then he was supposed to fight Fury again. Fury pulled out. So nobody in America even, like, basically we just forgot about Vlad. We don't give a fuck about Vlad right now. Nigga, he ain't got no belt. He's basically a nobody at that point.
Such a nobody, then, he made AJ's
listen,
career.
Nigga, don't cut me off. And then he fought AJ, who is a big star in Europe, where he already is popular at. So if he fights AJ in Europe...
So what are you saying? That we wouldn't have accepted Vlad to come off an 18-month layoff and fight Wilder?
Casuals wouldn't know. Casuals wouldn't
know Vladimir Klitschko.
They would know Vladimir Klitschko.
Cut it. Stop it, man. Cut it.
Yeah, one thing we can't do is kind of erase the Fury, because you got to remember Fury was the mandatory at the fight, and HBO can't necessarily deny that opponent because he's a mandatory. Either you're not going to show the fight, or you're going to show the fight. Simple as that.
Bruh, Wilder had the WBC belt before Fury was mandatory. All right? There's articles of Shelly Finkel saying that Wilder wasn't ready.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is, he was the manager to both. He could have made the fight. He chose not to. That's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You can't tell me that Vlad was big enough for AJ because Vlad is European. No. Vlad was the heavyweight champion, unified. The king of the division for nearly 12 years. But Javier, from Alabama, which I have to emphasize now because we see the bias, is trying to tell us that we didn't know Vlad and that we wouldn't be excited. He says, not the casuals. Meanwhile, who the fuck watches the heavyweight division? The casuals.
You got to take it from Javier's perspective, though. He's 21 years old. Probably wasn't really following Vladimir Klitschko when he was. And Javier just started watching boxing like along with me, so.
And that's cool.
He don't really know much about Vlad like that.
That's cool, but you know, Vlad is a legend that anybody would have built their bones off of.
Absolutely.
To this day. To this day.
Sing along if you know the words. Come on.
KO'd in the UK. Talk to me.
KO with the motherfucking shitstorm last week.
What's going on, people? Listen, didn't Shelley Finkel actually come out in a Boxing Scene article years ago saying that the reason why they didn't want the Vlad fight was because Wilder is a baby and he's a prospect and he needs time to develop? He actually said that. So they definitely ducked the Klitschko fight. There's no doubt about that. When fans of Wilder like Javier come on the show and talk some ridiculous stuff, it's funny how much length Wilder fans will go to defend his ducking. I mean, anyone with a brain, if you look at this whole thing objectively, you would know for a fact Wilder has been ducking certain fights. That's just the truth. I'm just glad that Ness is waking up to see it. But yeah, that's my call.
I'm not waking up to see nothing. I'm just trying to convince Mike and other Wilder fans that Team Wilder could have done a better job, or they're doing a magic trick and they're going to build Wilder's name without using any financial dollars really in terms of marketing. They're going to just wait for the big fight the way that Mike wants Crawford to just sit around and wait for Earl to do all the work and fight all the tough guys and collect all the belts and then somehow give Crawford 50. And that's what I'm saying. That is insane. You know, I'm a Wilder fan, but you can't tell me I'm going to go clean the yard and when the lady about to pay us, you talking about 50-50. Nigga, you ain't rake. You ain't even pick up leaves. How is it that you want 50-50?
Nigga, you raking leaves on my motherfucking block. That's how I get 50-50. You ain't never been motherfucking, know what I'm saying? You ain't never been on the motherfucking
Mike, are
block.
you listening to what you're saying?
Yeah.
What block does Wilder own? Like, you wilding today.
He in America, baby. If you want that pay-per-view to be in America, niggas, it's 50-50. You ain't never been out.
So Wilder owns the block.
Take it to
so Wilder owns the block.
I'm gonna take it. Can I take it to a pass?
No, you used an analogy. Does he own the block?
I'm trying to use the correct analogy. Can I use?
Oh, so you're taking that back. He don't own the block.
No. It's same thing. Anytime, you know what I'm saying, we hustling on a block, it was guys who ran that block. Sometimes you have to pay your dues to those guys.
Or you just shot him in the head. I'm an 80s baby.
No, that too.
I'm an 80s baby.
That too.
Crack era was shooting people in the head when they want the block. I mean, I watch New Jack City. I watch New Jack City, man. What you talking about? I don't know, man. Listen, I don't know.
We got a super chat though from Alexander Wilson. Joseph Parker's manager came on the Boxing Boys last year and said they could get more money.
That wasn't his manager, man. That was his second trainer. That was Kevin Barry's son.
Okay.
But yes. I get what he's saying. You know, he did come on and say that AJ offered them more money, and that's what I'm telling him. Like, Mike's in denial. Yo, Wilder finally, his team got it right with the Tyson Fury offer. They was able to slip. Yo, that was dope. We didn't think that because we always thought for Fury the biggest fight was AJ, and that would happen first. And Wilder's team,
you said more credit because I think you said something about it before it was even.
No, I absolutely threw it out there. I absolutely threw it out there, hoping that Wilder's team would get Fury because that was the big fight. But I didn't think they could afford it. And this is what people need to understand. They're like, oh, y'all with these PBC back end checks, man. I don't believe you. Okay, so check this out, Mike. Eddie Hearn was offering Tyson Fury $3 million to fight Tony Bellew, but he took $4 million to fight Wilder. Come on, bro. This totally back end checks, man. This totally back end. What heavyweight with the skill of Fury in their right mind would not fight Tony Bellew for $3 million? But would turn around and fight a more dangerous puncher in Wilder for $1 million more? No, them back end checks are real. Stop believing that they're not.
Hey, Javier got some shit for you. I'm not even gonna see it. Let's bring Javier back on.
Let him do what he want. He could talk. That's what it's about.
Five for you.
Go ahead, Javier. Try not to get upset so you can actually let your words
I'm not mad.
All
right, let me talk. All right, so look. You keep talking about Wilder, drop the ball. It's not his fault. Okay, yes, two niggas who was failed drug tests. We supposed to fight him, right? So during the time that Fury and Vlad fought, right, he was supposed to fight. Fury was supposed to fight Vlad. Wilder was supposed to fight Povetkin. Povetkin failed his drug test, right? So that's one name that's down on Wilder's resume that he should have had on his resume, right?
But Povetkin isn't.
Povetkin isn't what?
He's not a name builder.
You crazy.
Listen,
stop it.
No.
At the time, yes, he
just
was.
Listen to me, bro. Just listen to me. Comparing Alexander Povetkin hypothetically to the people that we're actually debating so you can stay on topic. So compare Povetkin to Joseph Parker, compare Povetkin to Vladimir Klitschko. He doesn't hold a candle, champ.
He holds a candle to Joseph Parker. What are you talking about?
No, he doesn't even.
Who has Joseph Parker beaten before he fought AJ? I don't want to hear about a belt.
Okay.
Who is he beating?
Okay, Javier, like I said, try not to get upset so you can understand. So at least Joseph Parker has fought on ESPN in Top Rank, whereas Povetkin has not. He's Russian. doesn't speak English. Even the promo for he and Wilder was in Russia. Like, stop it. Stop
That's
it.
cool. But if you beat a Russian, what does that do? That gets your name
It's a
bigger where?
Russian promo,
In
though,
Europe and in Russia. So what are you talking
right,
about?
Javier.
And Wilder said in 2015,
Unfortunately, KO
he said
is
he would
talking
fight
about you,
Vlad
man.
tomorrow. And nigga, it never happened because Vlad lost the Fury. It's not his.
Cut it.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. You're saying it's not his fault. Meanwhile, Vlad's manager is Wilder's manager. Like, that's the easiest collaboration in the world. Like, it's the easiest collaboration in the world. But you guys are somehow looking for scapegoat reasons. My man, again, I'm giving Wilder's team the out. They either drop the ball or they got a long-term plan where they're using everyone else to build Wilder. That's it. You're not going to tell me that you the manager of Vlad and Wilder and you can't get that fight done. You can't tell me, like, isn't it in your best interest, Mike? Just think about it like this. Put your shoes and your feet in Kelly, Finkel's sneakers, right?
I can't move my feet.
I know that. You get these offers in for your fighter Vlad, right? And it's like, yo, $20 million to fight AJ, right? Like, your head doesn't scratch and say, wait, AJ's not my fighter. Let me do this shit in-house.
Let me
help the only American heavyweight out there. Let me get him a vacant unification title shot from an old man coming off a 2-year layoff. How the fuck doesn't that head scratch?
Because you are a professional and you have a professional thing with both guys, so you got to do what's best for both guys. In that situation, what was best for Vladimir Klitschko was a nice lucrative payday from Anthony Joshua. It's just the fact that.
So you saying they can't match?
It just the fact at that time Wilder did not have the public backing of AJ and was not as big as a star as he is now. So the money AJ was offering him for that fight at Wembley really made.
So basically, you're saying that his management never allowed him to unify because there wasn't going to be enough money for the risk.
I'm not saying anything about Wilder. I'm saying solely about Vlad and Shelly Finkel. If you're a manager, you do what's best for your manager, regardless of who else you have on your roster.
But that's what I'm telling you. Remember, and my question to Shelly hypothetically is, why not just match the AJ offer to your American heavyweight? Build your product. That is your product, not AJ. Wilder is your product. So you're right. It is Shelly Finkel's job to tell Vlad, look, AJ and Eddie just offered you $20 million, but I talked to Showtime. We're going to offer you $20.5 million, and you'll get a title shot at Wilder. Why are you shaking your head? What?
To me, back then, when AJ fought Vlad, it just didn't make sense to offer Vlad $20.5 million to fight Wilder, because I don't believe that they could recouped it or maybe even took a loss on that fight. Okay. With the AJ fight, they had 90,000 people. So with that ended.
But we both know that the 90,000 doesn't help pay for it.
It helps a little bit now. I don't care what you say.
The numbers are totally different than here in America.
It's money. At the end of the day, it's money.
Ticket prices are different.
And I'm saying 90 times 40 or however you want to say, guys, every ticket won $40. So 90 times, let's just say every ticket was $40. 90 times 40 is a lot of, I don't know off top of my head, but a lot of money in my opinion. Also, the fact that Vlad maybe thought that right there could have done more for his career, beating down Olympic gold medalists who already has a title, and let me beat him, and that can propel me back to where I was. 20.5 million for fighting Wilder back then just does not make a whole lot of sense in my opinion.
Bruh, the fact that you're trying to say that he didn't get these fights because it wasn't enough money is only his management's fault. That at the time, the WBC champion isn't worthy enough to have a unification with AJ or with Vlad or with Joseph Parker. You keep saying there wasn't enough money and that AJ had more money. So again, their team is doing a bad job for him. All the opportunities they are there, they're losing them. They lost AJ. They lost Vlad. They lost Joseph Parker. They lost Dillian White. They lost Povetkin. And they lost fucking Tyson Fury and Big Baby. Bruh, man, knock it
I
off,
can't
man.
say his team is doing a bad job because right now they're in perfect position where they were offered $120 million about a month ago.
That's not a perfect position. He told you personally that wasn't a good offer.
But it's a better offer than what he was getting. So they're in their position is improving month after month, day after day, year after year. It's improving from where he was to now. I don't understand what you're not understanding about that.
But you're not understanding or admitting that it's improving off the back and work of AJ.
I don't want to fucking agree with that. I think Wilder, when he knocked out Stavern, I think that started the trickle. That's a second
for his profile.
Yes. Then he knocked out Ortiz. That even gave him more. And then what the fight that he had with Fury had a lot of internet buzz around it. So I feel like that Wilder is making his bones off himself, not off the back of AJ. Like he's getting in the ring and doing the work.
But he's not unifying. He hasn't been able to solidify a unification, yet you're saying that he's not doing it all for AJ, but yet his plan is Crawford's plan. Let the other guy rack up the belts and be the last piece on the puzzle. But you're somehow saying that by staying as the last piece, you're not building your name off the other guy who's doing the work.
I don't think you are, though, Ness. I think if you keep getting in the ring and keep taking on top challenges like he's trying to do with he's fighting his mandatory in Brazil. Next fight could be possibly Ortiz. After that could be Fury. I think if you keep on this route, people will start to recognize that, hey, this guy is not trying to make his name off AJ, but he is rather getting in the ring and facing top elite talent.
But again, how is that route better now when AJ already unified? He already took the big pieces off the board.
And that's what we're waiting on for that big fight with AJ and Wilder. That's why we want to see it, because all the pieces are either on this side, on that side, and we want to see that fight.
I don't know, man. You know, I just think that you're devaluing what AJ's done.
I'm not devaluing what AJ done. Not at all.
You are because you're saying, yeah, he got 4 belts, but it's still 50-50.
Same thing I said about Earl in Crawford.
And I don't agree with that either.
When you have a super fight and you need the other guy to make that super fight to happen, it has to be 50-50.
But Mayweather-Pacquiao wasn't 50-50, bro.
Because Mayweather is and I always say
Mayweather never had more belts than Pacquiao.
I understand, but Mayweather was a different level of
it was about numbers. It was about numbers. If you check the pay-per-view numbers, Mayweather always did more than Pacquiao. So that solidified his A-side status. You just giving out 50-50 and equal A-side status because you think, oh, he's the last piece. That ain't how it worked. Like
it
don't, bro.
If I'm going to be your biggest pay-per-view, maybe even double what you normally do, why wouldn't I deserve 50-50?
The same reason Pacquiao didn't. The same reason McGregor didn't. Should I go on?
But they're fighting Floyd Mayweather, though. You're fighting Floyd. Right. Floyd Mayweather is a star by itself. Listen. He did 600,000 with Andre Berto, my nigga.
Listen, all right.
600,000 with Andre Berto.
I think that number is wrong. I think if you Google, it was like 4 or 5, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 100, 200 doesn't matter. I'm just saying, I think you're wrong on your stance. I always was of the belief that he's asking for 50 to get the 40. And he said he was taking the 40. They just didn't tell him what AJ was getting with the Dazn offer. He said, yo, Ness, it was good, but we wanted to know what AJ was getting. So there you go. Like, I don't think the 50 is a line in the sand. I think that's a negotiation tactic. At the end of the day, bruh, I'm going to have the same argument for Earl. And this is what I'm saying. I just want to choke niggas that say I'm biased because Earl's argument is AJ's argument. Crawford ain't getting 50-50. Crawford ain't getting that. Earl out here unifying. Earl about to fight a pay-per-view star in Thurman once he knocks out Pacquiao. Like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Especially, the biggest difference between Earl's scenario and Wilder AJ is that both of these dudes is in America. Back then, it was different. AJ's bones was being built in the UK, so he had hometown dominance. Now, the pendulum is switched because he came here and he got to start over, but he still landed with his feet on the ground. It's still tickets sold. Every time they do an interview, they saying how MSG sold out, you know, even with a last-minute opponent change. So, I just don't see that 50-50, man. I mean, I got 4 belts. Like, the only way he getting 50 is if AJ just got tired and is like, fuck it. I just got to get this fight to knock this dude out and shut this dude up. But, like,
I mean,
you want me to discredit or devalue my belts. You want me to take less money for my belts. Like, I went through I fought Joseph
You're not
Parker.
taking less money, nigga.
Yes,
It's still going to be your biggest payday in your life.
Tell that to Floyd Mayweather when he fought Pacquiao.
You're not Floyd Mayweather.
Who?
AJ or Earl Spence Jr. If you were, you'll be fighting Sean Porter on pay-per-view, just like Floyd did Berto.
They are the AJs in these situations, champ.
They are the Floyd. You mean Floyd?
Yeah, they are the Floyds in this situation. Like you and I both know that no one is ever gonna be Floyd in terms of numbers and things like that. But these guys are them. That's the Canelos, the AJs, they represent. And guys like Earl, whose first fucking pay-per-view was 400. Yo, you open your eyes and you say, okay, let's see what he's gonna do next. You do.
And we waiting.
Yeah.
And
well,
the only way
we know what he's gonna do next. He's unifying.
Okay.
See, you keep discredifying unifications because you don't want it to mean nothing at the negotiation table.
Bro?
Because you don't want it to mean nothing. You telling Earl, yo, even though you went out there and beat Sean, and then you gonna beat, in Mike's opinion, you're gonna beat Keith for the WBA regular. Super. You know, even though you done that, you still got to give Crawford 50.
Yes, the only way.
So you're devaluing what he's done.
I'm not devaluing what he's done. I'm saying.
So how are you putting Crawford on the same level then?
Same thing I do for Wilder. I'm consistent all the way throughout. If there's a super fight to be made, there's fights in boxing that people always talk about, and we seen it over this past weekend that they brought up.
Won't you give us the super fight that's 50-50? Because you keep talking this super fight 50-50 shit with no fucking facts. Triple G and Canelo was a 50-50? No! And that's a super fight, and they did it twice.
Who's the bigger fucking star?
Stop lying. Stop lying.
Like Canelo
Stop lying. Where is your 50-50 super fight? Because it wasn't Mayweather-Pacquiao. It wasn't Mayweather-McGregor. It wasn't Canelo versus Mayweather. It wasn't fucking Mayweather versus fucking Oscar. It wasn't Oscar versus Pacquiao. Where's your 50-50? You ain't nothing but a liar. And then you don't want me to call you a liar. You just making this up out your ass.
I'm not a liar at all. When these fights happen, they will be 50-50.
Where's your history?
Canelo, Triple G, the reason why it went 50-50, Canelo is a bigger fucking star.
All right.
And Triple G did not speak English. So it's like he can't really captivate the American public like he needs to. Wilder can, Crawford can, Earl can, AJ
no
can.
No facts to substantiate none of this argument. No facts.
Bro,
no
and that's your opinion.
No, it's not opinion.
My facts are when it happens.
I'm giving you
my
super
facts
fights.
are when it happened. That's why these fights have not happened yet, because these guys aren't getting what they want to get. You can sit here and scream and yell and say, "Oh, where's the fight at? Where's this? Where's that?" When the fucking president is set with Deontay Wilder and AJ, when Deontay gets 50-50, and oh, by the way, Eddie Hearn said, "What? Yeah, man, I think we're to the point where we can entertain 50-50." So if Eddie Hearn thinks that way,
Mike, if Wilder had all 4 belts, if Wilder had all 4 belts, what do you think would happen?
Think that shit.
If Wilder had all 4 belts, what would happen?
Feels like that. Who are you to say that Wilder's wrong?
If Wilder had all 4 belts, what do you think would happen?
Here we go, all 4 belts, nigga. And if you need me, 50-50, period.
Okay. We're going to go out to Vito.
Yo. Ness, what's happening? This is so difficult for me. Usually, I come on here to just yell on you and just pour my frustration on you. Now, you're making sense today, and Mike, what happened? You skipped business class in school or what?
Yes, yes. And he
Because
got a degree
seriously,
in
you
business.
absolutely are not making any sense today. Now, first of
You
all, why
guys
would
don't
you
make no sense
compare
because you don't understand motherfucking location and
Anthony Joshua,
demographics.
4 belts
That's
to
all.
one. Now, minus that, let's go to Stardom. Would you say Wilder is on the same level as Joshua in terms of star power? Anthony Joshua is a brand. How do you not get that? He's a brand. How do you not get that?
He's
Star
not a
power,
brand
they're
in
not
America
equal.
just
So
quite
how are
yet.
you going to
If he
get
wants
50-50?
a super fight
Let me
in
give you fun
America with
fact.
Deontay
Let me
Wilder,
give
it's
you
gonna be
fun fact.
50-50.
The second highest pay-per-view Joshua did was with Parker, Joseph Parker. The same Joseph Parker you're trying to downgrade. The second high, and he did
I have never
1.4 million.
downgraded Joseph
Now
Parker.
calculate
Never.
that, equals that to what Wilder did, and tell me who's the bigger star. Now you really don't know what unless you're quite right. The bet of Anthony Joshua was that Klitschko fight. The star power that drew was enormous. So his Ness is quite right on this. I see it. I don't see what Shelly Finko is doing. Seriously,
And that's why
that's
you
my
guys are
call.
called not motherfucking promoters or managers, because you're not going to let your guy accept something less than he's worth. Period. That's why Al Heyman's not let Wilder accepted those offers from Eddie Hearn, because he understands what he has over in his corner. And if Al Heyman fucks around and gets 50-50 from Wilder, how could he then turn around and be mad or not do the same thing with a Crawford and
Yo,
Earl Spence?
champ, just know,
I love it.
just know, Al and Earl are not giving that 50%. If Earl makes it to the finish line anyway, because Thurman's back. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't happening, bruh. Like, I could sit here with you and pass joints back and forth and sing Kumbaya all we want. But I know, like you know deep down in your motherfucking heart, that when Earl get all them belts, and if Wilder had all them belts, you see the emojis, you see the hashtag, Big Shark, tables turn, me and Al versus everybody. That ain't 60-40. I mean, that's 60-40 talk. That ain't 50-50 talk. And my man already said you ain't getting 50-50. He said
That's
it.
cool for
He
social
said it.
media, but when
He
it comes
said it.
down to the table, we'll see how it plays out.
You right. You right. The same way that's always played out in history. The A side gets more.
Who's the A side?
That's what Wilder's trying to do. And that's what I'm realizing now. And I get it. And I can't wait till the next time to interview him. Maybe it's this week. Maybe I go to fight week. But are you just waiting long enough to build your A-side status? Are you trying to build up enough resume to somehow, I don't know, cloud what AJ's done? Are you prolonging the fight long enough to build your brand more? Because that's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. It's like, yo, our plan is to keep fighting till we raise our profile till they got to give us 50-50. And the only way to do that is to do pay-per-view. You got to solidify yourself as the pay-per-view A-side in America in order to get that A-side status, right?
Yeah, sooner or later.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, they're not entertaining the offers because they want to, that's their plan. Build our name. They saying we using AJ's name, we're going to build our own name. And that's the only thing I can see. But listen, man, we'll be back for another one. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right here at youtube.com/The Boxing Voice. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Future, present, past. It helps with the visibility of the show. Final thoughts, man. Mike said a lot of bullshit. I would have loved unifications with Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker and Deontay Wilder, Povetkin and Deontay Wilder, all that. Everything that happened. I know that wasn't a unification, but I'm throwing that in because that was a supposed to happen fight. And it didn't. It didn't. And my energy's the same. Earl is the one out here cleaning up his side of the street. And AJ did that. So my energy's the same. You know what I'm saying? They got to get what they got to get because they put in that work, man. They put in that work. They did. They got themselves to this level. You know? You don't just get here because you're the last piece of the puzzle. You can capitalize by being the last piece of the puzzle. You can knock my man out, change everything up, and you become king. But, I mean, only one dude unifying right now. Earl about to unify. You know, only one dude unified. Vlad unified with AJ. And AJ got them belts. And then he turned around and unified with Joseph Parker, man. I thought Parker was going to do it and he didn't. So, it's them offers. It's them offers, man. Turn them offers up. Turn those offers up. But I guess that ain't in the plans. That ain't in the plans, man. We got our own plan, and that's going to be Adam Kavanagh and Luis Ortiz. And, you know, according to Mike, that's going to make them the A-side. And that's GTO, Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, according to Mike, they'll give him 50-50. So if you know anything about math, 50-50 doesn't necessarily say that you're above anybody, but it says that you're equal, like right down the middle. So that means there is not really a side who's an A side or a B side, but more likely that sides are equal. And that's what I see that is going to happen for AJ and Wilder, and also Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. When those fights do happen, you can laugh and say I'm wrong right now, but when it happens, then you guys will be apologizing over in the chat like you always do. Follow me on IG at Gross1911 or on Twitter at Gross2312, and we'll definitely be back later on the day. Peace out. Oh, we got a super chat, man. Let me read one right quick.